Hey guys, it's Kelsey. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about dating with a disability. So I've actually been wanting to talk about this topic for a little while now because my experience is a little different than most girls because I have a disability. And I thought it'd be important because there might be someone out there who is struggling with relationships right now. They need someone to look to get some advice, and maybe my story will help them realize, you know, it is a little hard, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So I'm just going to be sharing my stories, you know, from middle school, high school till now, my different experiences with boys and dating, and then my boyfriend Paul is going to come in at the end of the video and talk about his experience and what it was like when he first started dating me. So if you're new to my channel, I'd really appreciate if you subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm gonna start out in middle school because that's when I kind of started dating boys and boys started to become a big thing in my life. As I've mentioned in previous videos, middle school was not a great time for me. It's the time in my life when I realized that I was different and that not everyone accepted my difference. I started to get really insecure. So it was around my first week of school and I was in the lunch line and there was a cute boy in front of me and he actually turned around, he saw me and he was like, "Hey." And I was like, oh my gosh, a boy's talking to me, and I was like, "Hi." But then he slowly kind of looked down at my arm and then went, "Oh." And he like turned around and I was like, what? I don't understand what just happened. I didn't even realize like he turned around because of my arm. And so I actually said, I was like, "What?" And he ignored me and I was like, okay. And then it started to, I realized, oh, he turned around because of my arm. So that made me a little sad. The next thing that happened, there was a boy, you know, later on in middle school that I had been talking to. I really liked him. And I found out that he had been talking about me behind my back and he was calling me Nubs. And of course, when I first heard the name, I was like, Nubs, like, what does that mean? I didn't even, you know, correlate Nubs with my arm or anything. I was like, I just didn't even know what that meant. And then I slowly realized, oh, Nubs, that's like my arm because it's like a nub, I guess. That's what a lot of people say. And so, you know, that really hurt me. I was like really upset. And it actually took me a while to even like hear the word Nubs. Like sometimes even now when I hear Nubs, I'm like, don't really like that because it makes me a little upset because it reminds me of middle school. But I know a lot of people use the word Nubs as like an empowering word because like that's what they are, that's who they are, that's what they have. Okay, so I also there were different times in middle school where boys would actually come up to me and say, you know, I would date you if you had two hands. And I was too nice and too shy to say anything back other than, oh, okay. Yeah, so it just was not a good time. I felt so insecure around boys. Like I was on the cheer team, and anytime I'd have to go and cheer in front of the crowds, I immediately was thinking, oh my gosh, all the boys are seeing my hand and they're thinking, ew. So I was just really insecure, and these things, it just kept happening and happening. And so I thought, am I ever gonna be able to find a guy who accepts my arm? So later on, high school came. I had my first boyfriend and he actually was really accepting of my arm, and I just wanted to share this moment because I think maybe some other people who have limb differences might relate to this. We were at a park and we sat at a picnic table, and you know, like when couples reach and they hold hands across the table, like a cute moment. So he tried to do that. He reached his hands and like grabbed my arm in my hand. And immediately I was like, oh no, did he mean to do that? He must have forgot I have one hand. Like, this is so awkward. Like, I felt so uncomfortable. And so I'm just sitting there like holding his hand like, oh no, oh no, oh no. I talked to him later about it and he was like, I didn't think that at all. Like, I wanted to hold your arm. I don't think anything's weird with it. So I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. There are guys who like my arm. And so college came, and that's where I'm at now. I met Paul maybe like 2 years ago because we've been dating for 1 year and 4 months. So when we first started dating, of course, I was a little, I don't know what he's gonna think about my arm. Will he accept it? Like when we first started dating, I kind of hid it a little bit, especially on our first date. Like we were at a restaurant and I was like trying to eat and have my arm under the table, honestly. Yeah. So yeah, I just thought it would be nice for Paul to share his experience and talk about what it was like for him when he first started dating me. So
yeah, definitely.
Okay, so when you first met me, what did you think about like my arm?
Yeah, so obviously right now I'm super grateful and super happy that I'm with Kelsey and we're in a great relationship. But I will admit that when I did first meet her, I didn't really know what the circumstances were for somebody with a physical difference. And it's just because it's kind of rare, and I've never met somebody with, somebody that was missing a limb, but I just didn't really let it affect me much. The first time I met her was at this Christian barbecue that we went to, and she went just to like mingle with some people, and I honestly went just for some free food. I mean, that's just kind of who I am, but I've seen her online, and I thought, why not talk to this girl? We both came alone, and we were standing in line waiting to get in, and so I started talking, and I noticed it, but I don't know, it didn't really affect me. I'm like, she's still a nice girl, she's talking, so I didn't think it was really that big of a deal. But we just kept talking, and then eventually we just kind of kept hanging out the rest of the day, and I thought it was pretty cool. But after that, we kind of went our own ways. I said hi, got her number, kind of went my own way, and that was really about it for a while. We didn't really talk for probably about like a whole nother year, and she was still in the back of my mind because I always thought she was so pretty. I was still stargazed when I first met her, and but I just, like I said, I just didn't know what it would be like to date a girl with a physical difference. So that's when the summer after that school year, I actually talked to some of my friends and got their advice. I said, hey, I met this one girl, she's super nice, very pretty, but obviously there's something, she has a difference, and I don't really know how to feel about that, I guess. And they were actually super supportive of me, and they were saying, as long as she has a great personality and you can look past that, there shouldn't be anything different. I said, you're right, like, there's nothing wrong with her. I mean, if I was with with my, another girl or something, it's not like I'd be focusing on her arm the whole time, so, and plus I just said, like, there's more to her than just her arm, and it doesn't define her as a person. Although I'm sure it's a big part of her, it doesn't really define her as who she is and what her personality is like. So I did eventually get back to Kelsey my second year of college, and I thought, I want to talk to this girl. And so I reached out to her and said, hey, we should go to dinner sometime and just kind of catch up just as friends. I didn't really think much of it, but I said, she's so cute. If maybe she likes me, it can turn into something, but for now we'll just be friends. And I'll be honest, I was nervous. I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, does she need help cutting her food or opening the door? I don't know, putting on her shoes. I had no idea. I never met anybody like that. So it was just something new for me, and I was a little nervous. It was a little bit different than any other date I've been on, but no, it was actually super normal. I mean, it just, like I said, you really don't notice it. Like, even now in our relationship, we can go, I don't know, working out, jogging, eating food or anything. I don't ever even notice that she doesn't even have one arm, because she's so pretty. I'm always looking at her face, and I don't even look down. It doesn't define her as a person. So I think that's one thing that if I had to give advice, it would be that it's really not that big of a deal. Like, it's just a small little part. It doesn't affect her. She's adapted to so many things, as she's shown in plenty of her videos, that she's very capable of doing most things in life. And I think that it's been very, very helpful for me too, and I've appreciated everything she's done for me and everything I've done for her, and I would just say I'm super happy. But yeah, there are some things that you do question, like, is it going to be different? Is it going to be challenging? What's the future going to be like? But honestly, at the end of the day, you just gotta say, is this person's personality enough for me to want to take the chance and just see who this person is, just like with any girl or any guy that you want to try and experience with. So yeah, if there was one thing I would have to take away from my experience as a boyfriend, I would just say that it's literally, her hand is only one part of her entire being, and I would say there's so much left to her to find out. And if you are somebody that is questioning whether you should go out or go for somebody that does have a physical difference, I'd say that there is so much more to learn about somebody that is in those types of shoes. So just take a chance and just see what kind of person they are, and most of the time I feel like you'd be pretty satisfied with what you find out. So yeah, thank you for hearing my experience.
So I hope this video has been helpful. You know, I have been through a lot of hard times with relationships. You know, I've been insecure, I've been afraid to go on dates because I thought they're not gonna like me because I have one hand. But there are good guys out there, and a lot of my experiences happened in middle school and high school when guys aren't very mature. I mean, we're all still pretty immature in high school. And so all they see is, oh, she has one hand, I'm not gonna date her. I don't wanna be judged. I don't wanna be made fun of by my friends or anything like that. So when we get older, we mature and people realize, you know, things like a missing limb aren't that big of a deal, or anything else. So I just want to say there are great guys out there, and if a guy doesn't accept you because of a disability or anything else, then they're not the right guy. They're not who you're meant to be with, and there's nothing wrong with you. It's them. You're perfect. You're beautiful. And yeah, I just want you to know, like, there's nothing wrong with you. You are made to be who you are, and you should accept yourself for who you are, and whoever you're with should accept you for who you are. So I think it'd be great if you guys could share in the comments below any experiences you've had with dating. You know, any crazy stories about dates you've gone on, that'd be great. Like, we could start a conversation about dating with disabilities. Once again, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye!
Bye.